the first Black female Chief Information Officer, one of three at the cabinet level, actually 3 Black people. At the time, there was not another Black woman. And the visibility that this had, that I was going to lose my job, I was going to get fired. And then these 2 cats were taking it lead, who were supposed to be my friends. That's when, my crying prohibition got broken down. I said, that's it. I just cried right in front of them. Another situation where I cried was in the deployment of an agency-wide help desk. It was horrible. It was a horrible deployment. And I did all the things I felt, a program manager should do. Checking in, daily status, KPIs, all that kind of stuff. And the first week of the deployment, it was horrible. And in most help desks, you measure response time in minutes. We were measuring the response time in days or hours. It was horrible. And I had to fly down to the location where the project managers were, and I wanted to understand what happened. And I don't know how we zeroed in on it so quickly, but it turns out that they sized the help desk for 100 people instead of 100,000 people. It was supposed to be 100,000, and they did 100. I said, why did you do 100? I said 100,000. And so then the person in charge of the people said, well, they didn't believe me. That was too many. So they felt that 100 was the right number, and they undersized the help desk. Furthermore, they did not implement the right kind of processes and procedures that were needed in order to run it. And I was so angry and upset. And it was another opportunity to cry. But I just ended the meeting and decided to leave. I just left. I was on travel. We were down in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. So I had a plane to catch, and I decided I would just get back a little early. I left the meeting. As I'm leaving, I see a billboard, and I'm crying, by the way. I get in the car, and I just start crying. And I'm on Interstate 10 crying. And I see a sign that says, Smart People Scratch-Off Tickets, Become a Millionaire. And I said, that's it. That's my ticket to the top. They decided that I was going to be a millionaire, so I pulled off in Slidell, Louisiana, and got myself some Smart People Scratch-Off tickets. And what I was going to do is to get on the plane and wait till I get on the plane, because I knew I had to come back the following week and do some damage control and some, post-mortem on this project, just decide what to do next. So I got my scratch-off tickets, and I scratched them off on a plane. And I wasn't a millionaire. It was just $20. So I wasn't going to be a millionaire. Anyway, back in Washington, D.C., at headquarters, I meet with the executives that are over this organization. I meet with them. And I thought that they were my friends, really. And they were just nonchalant about it. Like, yeah, it happens with projects, You win some, you lose some. And I felt that as the first Black female Chief Information Officer, one of 3 at the cabinet level, actually 3 Black people. At the time, there was not another Black woman. I don't think there was. And the visibility that this had, that I was going to lose my job. I was going to get fired. And then these 2 cats were taking it lead, who were supposed to be my friends, were taking it, like, oh, well, you win some, you lose some. Well, that's when, my crying prohibition got broken down. I said, that's it. I just cried right in front of them. I didn't boo-hoo cry or snot, no ugly cry. The tears just came coming down. And I got the words out. That I wanted to say. And I was able to think clearly enough to say what needed to be said. I was able to maintain enough composure through the tears to lead through this. And I asked them, what were they going to do about it? If it was nothing, then I can deal with nothing. If they were going to do something, what were they going to do? And they kind of sat back and realized that they had to do something. I think as I kind of reflect on that, I don't think they did anything. But what they did do, they were personally supportive. You know, the things that you would do, like a cheerleader. Yeah, I needed a cheerleader. I needed a offensive coordinator. I needed a quarterback coach. That's what I needed. But cheerleaders, if that's all they could do, I was going to take it. And so I told them later what I was going to do. I went back down. I cashed my $20 scratch-off ticket. And I talked to each and every person on the project one by one. And I was able, through those conversations, develop an action plan to get us back on track. And since these guys, my friends, weren't there when I needed them, in a way it was helpful because I was able to go back, not just cash some scratch-off tickets, but to cash some tickets with them and get some specific help in some specific areas that I asked them for.